Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, and it's now round 2 of our third season in the MotoGP category, but this time on board the Monster Energy Yamaha. So round 2 in the Losail International Circuit is now underway. So in pole position is Pecco Bagnaia with Zarco and Miller on the front row, Quartararo, Oliveira and Grant on the second, Mir, Espargaro, Martin, Vinales, Espargaro and Marquez, Rins, Morbidelli, Nakagami, Petrucci, Binder and Lecuona, Marquez, Rossi, Marini, Bastianini and Savadori at the back of the grid. So we look to the lights from the 6th position and away we go! That's a decent start, but I think Pecco, Zarco and Miller got the dream start, that all red front row right now as we got the Ducatis. Who's going to get the whole shot going into the first corner here in turn 1 here in Qatar? Looks to be Pecco Bagnaia, went straight into the lead there as Vinales got really close to the rear. Oh, his teammate is Grant, there's goodness me, bit of contact there from one of the Repsol Hondas. I believe it was Paul Espargaro as Marquez is on the right hand side, but we'll now get really close to our former teammate as goodness me. Aleix Espargaro is certainly hindering our spot there because I wanted to get past him. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage it so far. So I'm a little bit concerned because Pecco Bagnaia did choose the double soft. Is that the right sort of tyre combination to go for in this one? Because he might just bolt to the front. We weren't able to get on the podium last time out, but this time I want to guarantee that I'll be on that podium here today in our second Grand Prix of the season. So a very early recap. So far we're in 7th position with the 2 Ducatis teammates up in the top 3 and of course Johan Zarco in there as well in 2nd place. We want to be up there fighting with them, but my start looked good off the line, but we couldn't quite stick it into turn 1. But speaking of sticking it, I think Mir and Oliveira has gone wide there. Do we have a chance of sticking up on the inside? We managed to get the former world champion, but now Miguel Oliveira sits in our way. The Red Bull KTM is positioned well for the right hand of the turn 12, so now it's time for us to possibly line him up going into either the final corner or even on the back straight onto the run down to turn 1. We're now into 14, still using power setting 2 at this point in time, and the electronics have really found TCS2 and anti-wheelie 2 really good, but we did run it deep going into that very difficult left-hander. I can either get it right or get it wrong. I never seem to have the middle ground for the 15th corner, but now going into turn 16, power setting 3 is definitely being applied. Now it's going to be a little bit of contact with Joan Mir, almost a replication of Miller and Joan Mir from last season, when Miller went straight into the side of the Spanish Warrior. As we now go on the right hand side, braking very firm for the first corner, and it seems Miguel Oliveira is right onto the tail of Fabio Quartararo, and I'm going to try and insert myself in this one because I can see Pecco getting away from us about 1.5 seconds up the road, and I want to try and get on through as the metaphorical wrist has been slapped already with a track limit warning. I mean, it was very, very minor touching the grass there, but hey ho, it is what it is. I guess you could say we gained a little bit of an advantage. But into the 4th corner, I'm feeling the pressure now. I really, really want to get past Oliveira because Joan Mir is right there. Actually, never mind about being right there. He's already through on there, and now he's up into my 6th position, which I was holding very briefly. But we now get past Joan Mir once again, positioning the Yamaha in the spot that Joan Mir could definitely not retaliate on. That is good racing, if I do say so myself. So Pecco Bagnaia now has a 2-second lead ahead of us, which is probably in turn roughly around 1.5 seconds to Johan Zarco and possibly to Jack Miller. You can see Miller trying to lunge up on either around the outside as Joan Mir touches the rear tyre of the Yamaha ahead of him. And I've seen Fabio Quartararo having a good old look behind him. Not entirely sure what he's trying to see, but he's looking for something, and I guess he's looking for possibly assistance from his Yamaha teammate, which is a little bit too far behind at this point. But onto the right hand side for the 13th corner on the 2nd lap, we do have a chance of possibly gaining a little bit more time on Miguel Oliveira, but we still can't seem to get close enough just yet. 0.3 of a second is the difference once again as we approach the final corner. But this time, without a Joan Mir lunge, we should be in good stead for a possible slipstream. Never mind with the slipstream, Miguel Oliveira's gone down. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming. What on earth happened to the Portuguese man? Fabio Quartararo, was he involved in that one? It looked like Miguel Oliveira touched his rear tyre, and unfortunately for the Portuguese man, he just went down into the final corner on the 2nd lap. That is devastating after a solid position in the first race, and it looked like the KTMs were pretty confident this weekend here in Qatar, at least the Red Bull KTM of Miguel Oliveira. There's a bit of contact already now with Fabio Quartararo. Goodness me, nothing says teammates like launching it up on the inside of your fellow teammate and just launching it into them to get through on the right hand, or the left hand, should I say. Is now we go onto the right hand side. Goodness me, Johan Zarco hindering my progress and position at every single step of the way. Typical Johan Zarco. We've had nothing but rivalries these past 2 seasons, but I did expect a little bit more from Zarco in this one after, of course, the disaster in the first round when he took many riders out. He seems to be content with sitting there in 4th place, but Jack Miller, not so much. He has clawed a bit of gap, or at least bit of the gap now down to Pecco Bagnaia. It's still around 1.5 seconds, maybe a little bit more, but we now go on the left-hand side. Jack Miller looks to be closing in somewhat. Now, we did mention at the beginning of this video that Pecco Bagnaia has gone for the double soft combination of tyres. Is this going to bite him in the backside, or is this a genius masterstroke from the Italian? I guess we'll find out with a lot more laps, because we're approaching almost the halfway point of this race as Jack Miller just beautifully positions himself into the 15th corner as we now go into the left-hand side for turn 15. Excuse me, turn 15 is this one. I always mess the corners up in Qatar because there's no corner names. It's just numbers, so I always end up messing them up. But onto the right-hand side for the final corner of the 3rd lap. We'll now bring on the power. Do we need to use power setting 3? I guess it would make a lot of sense to pick up the additional slipstream. Of course, the video game doesn't do justice to the Ducatis in this one, but 151.743 from Matt Grant. That is fantastic. That was better than my pole lap in Qatar 1. Beautifully done as we now take over from 2nd position from Jack Miller. But Jack Miller says, no, I'm not having it. I'm coming back through. Thriller Miller with a thrilling move. Beautifully done. Now we need to fight back once again to the Australian, who's still in my 2nd position. I kind of want it back, and I've got to be honest with you, this fighting is not doing us any good. We shouldn't really be infighting. We should be waiting for Pecco Bagnaia's tyres to die so we can then finally take advantage. But I guess we don't even need to wait anymore because we are on one heck of a charge. Miller is fast. Grant is faster. He was faster on the previous lap, so this is a possibility that we could end up beating Pecco Bagnaia and taking our first victory on board the Yamaha YZR M1 as we now go onto the right-hand side. That's a beautiful change of direction. This is where the Yamaha is king compared to... Oh, it's a move coming! It's a move coming! Up on the inside. Beautifully positioned, the Yamaha there, launching up on the inside of the factory Ducati Desmosedici, and the Yamaha occupies 2nd place for now, as 0.2 of a second is the gap to the Ducati ahead of him, as Pecco Bagnaia is going really slow here on the right-hand side. Had to just basically pick it up there for a second because Pecco Bagnaia was going so slow we could have just whacked into the back of him. But this lap time would have been absolutely fantastic if we weren't going to engage in battle with Pecco Bagnaia. Look at it, we're still actually really close to the 151.743 from the lap prior. This could have been a fantastic lap if we didn't have that moment. What a lap this could have been, but I tell you what, it's still going to be very impressive because power setting 2 is all that we need to get past Pecco Bagnaia, and we are now charging down the back straight in the lead for the very first time this season. And boy, does it feel good. Oh yes. On board the Yamaha, up into 1st position. Bagnaia in 2nd. Oh, we've run it deep though. Oh, we're getting a little bit too excited here as Miller takes advantage of not 1 but 2 riders going wide into the 1st corner. We must then fight back with all our might. The win is most definitely on today. It is most definitely on the cards for us today. But Jack Miller, how is your nerves? What have you got? He hasn't won a race in probably quite a while now, so this is his time to shine if he's going to take full advantage of it. But Pecco Bagnaia's tyres certainly let him down here in the Losail International Circuit. But for us, I'm a little bit concerned about my own front tyre. The front tyre on the right-hand side is a little bit rough. Rear looks absolutely fantastic. The medium tyre is certainly working at optimal temperature right now and just feels fantastic. I am really impressed with this Yamaha. And I wanted to mention earlier that the Yamaha in this section and the second to final part of the track as well is king. Compared to the Aprilia, it was quite tough to manoeuvre the RSGP around this circuit compared to the Yamaha YZR M1. It is just a dream. And I don't want to knock the Aprilia because I thought the Aprilia was fantastic. We won 2 seasons. But the Yamaha is just A-OK in my book. It feels great. It really does. So I'm very much enjoying this. But I need to get back to it because Jack Miller's looking at a 5/10 of a second lead here. This is not what I expected. I didn't expect Miller to be so strong and pushing past us. So now it's down to us to dig down a little bit deeper, maybe use a bit of power setting 3 and chase down the Australian ahead of us, and I've gone completely wide for the final corner. Turn 16 has certainly caught us off guard there as we now bring on the power. The gap, oh, it's looking like a second. You know what I say, if you get the gap to a second, you break the resolve of the rider in second place, and I don't want to do that right now. So one can only imagine what we can have to... Oh, we've gone wide again. One can only imagine what I can muster up now to try and catch Jack Miller into the first place. He's pushing me hard here. I did not expect this. This has been a bit of a curveball. How the hell has Jack Miller just decided to go, you know what, I'm going to just chuck in ridiculously fast lap time. So have we just begun to struggle? Oh my goodness, that last lap time was a 1:53, 1:43. What on earth happened? Oh, and now Quartararo is ahead of... Wow, I didn't even see that. I did not even see that. Pecco Bagnaia is down to 7th place. Wow. Quartararo got ahead of Jorge Martin for 3rd position. Joan Mir in 5th. Zarco 6th. Bagnaia 7th. And Aleix Espargaro, the former teammate, down in 8th place. That is, goodness me, that is surprising. But I know the tyres looked pretty worse for wear when we were fighting him just a moment ago, or at least very briefly fighting him. I didn't expect it to drop that much though. And we're now getting back into our rhythm here, where this should be another 152 low, or possibly a high 151 if we really tackle this next section of circuit. But I cannot live with Jack Miller's pace right now. What on earth has he been saving? How has he got this? Someone's gone down behind us. I'm not entirely sure who that was, but I've just noticed that Pecco Bagnaia is not even in the top 8 anymore. Alex Rins is now occupying the 8th position. Wow, what a gamble for the Ducati rider, and what a disappointment. From one side of the garage, disconsolate and disappointed, to absolute elation if Jack Miller can take the victory here in the Losail International Circuit. We have 2 more laps when we cross the line, and that is going to be it. So we need to really bring on the power now. We really need to bring our A game, because Quartararo is closing. Maybe my front tyre has also been a bit of a gamble. I did mention that the soft felt a little bit weaker. So, I don't know. And there's been a crash now on the circuit, so there are riders who are feeling the pressure here. Most definitely. I didn't expect Miller to get away. He has really shook me, that one. I really expect us to still be able to battle for him. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. I know we could get our first podium here today, which is absolutely fantastic, but I'm a little bit disappointed that I couldn't battle for the victory. I really felt like this one should have yielded a victory by now. Of course, the first round getting taken out by Zarco at the beginning of the Grand Prix was never special. But here in the second Grand Prix, I felt this is the time to strike back. Pole position in the first race didn't go so well. Second row for the second race, thought it'd be okay. And to tell you what, so far it has been good. But we can't chase down Jack Miller. He's just too fast at this stage of the race, and I just can't catch up to him. So I guess we'll just take the second place if we can fend off against Fabio Quartararo. Our teammate is closing. It's down to 0.2 of a second. Not entirely sure why I'm beginning to struggle so much at the end of this race. Maybe it's the tyre wear, maybe I'm just losing a bit of concentration, not entirely sure. But Quartararo is closing. He is right there at 1/10.5. Oh, this is going to be really tough now. I have power setting 3 to my disposal on the next lap if I need it. The front tyre says end the race now. The fuel and the power says we have another lap of determination and defiance to Quartararo. We will keep this second position if it's the last thing I do. 1.8 seconds it is to Jack Miller ahead of us. Quick look behind us, and there is Quartararo in our sights. Wow. We have to really dig down deep here. Breaking into turn 1. We get it right. That's good. 2 laps in a row, I've kind of made a bit of a mockery of that one, but this time we're solid. Now onto the left-hand side for turn 2. This is the defence of the second position. Quartararo is the World Championship leader and still will be after the end of this Grand Prix, but for us, we'll have a wonderful chance of positioning ourselves in second place in the World Championship, and Jack Miller is going to fly up the championship standings. He didn't even finish the first race after getting taken out by Johan Zarco, so this is going to be one heck of a swing in the championship for the Australian ahead of us. But onto the left-hand side, we are up once again, up by 0.3 of a second, so this is the lap where we seem to have really got our mojo working. We've taken a bit of time from Jack Miller. Now, if only I could keep that concentration for the past couple of laps, things could have been a little bit different. I must confess the consistency in this second race compared to the first one has not been as good. I've definitely let myself down compared to the first race. We were extremely consistent and very, very positive. And this one I'm going to be positive as well, because bear in mind that I have not finished on the podium in Qatar since the Moto 3 race at the beginning of my entire career. That is how long it has been that we have sat on the top step of the podium, or near enough to the podium, in Qatar. We finished up as the runners-up as... Oh, what a... Whoa! I thought that was it then. That was a big moment, and Quartararo is only a tenth and a half away from us now. We were doing a really solid lap until that moment then. But this is going to end that streak of drought that we have yet to have taken away from us, but finally we've got it now. Jack Miller is your winner of the Doha GP. Grant will finish in second place, and Quartararo extends his championship lead with a third position. So the end of the race, there you go then guys. Miller wins with Grant and Quartararo in second and third. Grant's fastest lap of the race coming with a 1:51.743. Quite a long time ago, and absolutely no sign of Pecco in the top 10. So looking at the championship standings, and there you go, as mentioned earlier, Quartararo is the championship leader with 8 points clear from Grant and a whopping 20 position rise from Jack Miller, who was dead in the water and then gets the perfect 25 points at the end of the second Grand Prix. That's amazing. Look at that rise to stardom, look at that rise to fame for Miller. So we now look at the championship standings for the teams, and as you can see, Grant and Quartararo's efforts have certainly put them to the top of the table. 29 points clear from the Ducati Lenovo team, and 39 points clear from Team Suzuki X-Star. Now we'll look at the Constructors' Championship, and it is locked on points, dead level between Ducati and Yamaha at 45 points each. 18 clear from Suzuki in third place, and 27 clear from Honda in fourth. But we now go to the podium celebration. First, it must be part ferme with Grant, Quartararo and Jack Miller, the race victor. And this is, of course, being our first part ferme in 4K in MotoGP 21. So I hope you're watching this in 4K so you can appreciate it for that little bit more quality and fidelity. But upon that note, guys, I will leave you with the podium celebration. Thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button as well if you really liked it. It helps out the algorithm and it also helps out the channel. And also, finally, hit subscribe to watch a lot more DrAce content. So upon that note, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next Grand Prix or video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.